We should have known earlier. We should have realized. We should have seen the signs that we still had time. But how are we supposed to know? In our world, communication was at its peak, the best that the human race has ever achieved. And yet, we chose to do nothing, to sit in comfort, oblivious. It began in the year 2015. The beginning of the medical revolution. All of our new technologies brought cures and freedom from disease. But in its premature state, we were not concerned with the possible consequences of our newfound power against illness. Among the least tested, yet most effective, were the retroviruses. These retroviruses were designed to eradicate natural diseases and mutations such as cancer. They were created to end suffering and save the lives of millions. By the year 2030, humans were free of all illness, and the world rejoiced at the dawn of a new age. However, in 2035, those exposed to the benevolent viruses started to change. Abnormalities in brain function, Alzheimer's in young adults, and the old losing their minds completely. Babies were being born with strange genetic mutations causing paralysis. By the time scientists identified that the now dormant retroviruses were mutating neurons in the brain, it was too late. We should have realized, we should have acted sooner. In 2050, of the 12 billion former inhabitants of our small planet, only about 500,000 remain. What made the epidemic terrible was the fact that the people infected didn't seem sick. It was in their minds, a descent into a limbo state, losing identity and conscious thought. These vessels, no longer carrying what made us most human, were called dreamers, and they are the reason we are afraid to sleep.
Sean, where you been? I've been looking for you all morning.
Look what I found in the city.
You went into the city?
Tired of eating squirrels and berries. We need real food.
You know we shouldn't go into the city.
If we were going to become dreamers, it would have happened by now.
That's not what I mean. I'm not concerned about the dreamers. I mean, it's dangerous in the cities. There's gangs and with no order, no police. You just have to understand I'm concerned is all.
The city's empty. Everyone there is gone or dead. But if you don't want me to go anymore, I won't go.
Good, thank you. Now let's get moving. We got a lot of ground to cover. Which way?
Does it really matter?
As long as we get out of here before winter. Do you miss it?
What?
Your life. Before.
Of course I miss it. Nothing will ever be the same.
Do you think we'll ever be safe?
Not for a long time, if ever. I never showed you what I found in the city.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, remember? We used to eat these while we made short films. We'd like go down by the railroad tracks and film those action things and stuff. Those were the days, man.
Yeah, and Mr. Jenkins would always get mad at us for leaving the wrappers in his yard.
Yeah, I chased us off his property once. You remember that?
Yeah. I remember.
I missed that. It's kind of sad, actually.
Yeah, but all we can do is keep on keeping on. Let's get it.
Hey boss, looks like we found some travelers.
Thank you. I hadn't noticed. Now, where are you boys headed?
We're just passing through. And see, we're not looking for no trouble, so...
That's good, that's good. We don't want any trouble either. But, looks like you got a bit of a heavy load there. You wouldn't mind sharing some of that with some poor, hungry travelers now, would you?
We don't have enough to share, I'm sorry.
Now, what if I said please?
What do we got here?
I said, don't touch that!
Yo!
There's always a hero, and it always ends the same way. You got 10 seconds, boy. I better start running.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Sure we should have let him go, boss?
Never question me!
There comes a time in many lives when the question beckons, why go on? And it doesn't seem worth it to search for an answer. But in a world where the feeble can no longer protect themselves and the strong take from the weak, those who have the strength to stop them must. And we must look not to established rules for guidance, but to the rules that guide the good in everyone, to protect our fellow man. When we lose a friend to evil, we must do everything in our power to cease that evil from causing more harm. For some people say that there will never be an end to evil deeds, that no good-hearted act will triumph, and this is what I say to them. Before you give up, before you turn your head and look only to your own concerns, you must remember the world we once had, one where freedom came from the efforts of our forefathers and the lives of our ancestors. It is our duty to preserve those values no matter the conditions, no matter the catastrophe. To ensure the survival and the growth of the human race, we have to try. I searched for the bandits that killed my friend for 4 years, preparing myself, honing my skills, salvaging from the ruined cities to find the tools I would need to bring them down.
Check this!
This is for Sean.
Finish it. What are you waiting for? Kill me! Kill me!
Huh?